Hello, Falcons. It's Coach 2 again. Thank you for watching another episode of Distance Learning with Coach 2. In this tutorial slash episode, we're going to go over Chapter 8.1.1, How Can I Describe the Data? I will go over a few of the problems. Not the first two. Two of the problems will be on Google Slides, so keep an eye out for that. You need to use a Google Slide to complete 8-1 as well as 8-3. And then the other two problems, 8-2 and 8-4, will be completed in your notebook. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the first part of the lesson or the problem. Part A says, what is the difference between the largest piece and the smallest piece of the data in your class? This difference is called a range. It is one way to measure the spread or the variability of the data. So if you took a look at the data, which is only the highlighted numbers, it is a number of the families. So that's 2 members in a family, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 members in a family. You only want to use the numbers that are highlighted because even though 1 is there, it is not being used. So 1 wouldn't count. 2 would actually be the smallest number. So you want to find the difference between the largest, which is 10, and the smallest, which is 2. And then you can go ahead and type in your answer in that little spot that I left for you that says range. So let's go ahead and move on to part B. Like I said, do not worry about what 8-1 says in the ebook because we are not in the classroom. We can't do it exactly the same. So what number falls in the middle of all the class data when the data is sorted in order? This number is called the median. So just like the problem mentions, it is the middle number if all the data was sorted in order from least to greatest. If you look at the data, luckily for you, is actually in order from least to greatest. So all you need to do is lay out the numbers from smallest to biggest, so you can drag the squares. And lay them out flat or in a straight line. You can copy it into your notebook, but you want them in a straight line. So take a minute and make sure you have all the numbers written out in a straight line. Again, you can do this. All you have to do is cross out the numbers from left to right, and eventually you'll get to the middle number. Okay, so I'm not skipping 8-2. It's just something I'm not going to cover with you because I believe you can do this on your own. So go back to CPM, read the problem, and complete it in your notebook. Okay, let's go ahead and look at 8-3. What is average or the mean? It says now obtain 1 cube or manipulate it from your teacher. And unfortunately, again, it's not going to happen because we're doing the whole social distancing. So what we're going to do is modify the problem a little bit. The first try says if the cube squares were redistributed, moved around so that everyone in the class has the same amount of squares, how many cubes would each person have? This is called the mean. So everybody should have about the same amount, as close as possible. So to make it easier for you, I've also copied and pasted the directions onto each slide. So again, the first try says you want to redistribute the purple squares so that they are evenly as much as possible, so that it is distributed among the highlighted numbers again. The highlighted numbers are the participants or the number of families in the classroom. So some people don't have 9, some people don't have 7, and some people don't have 1. So you want to move the squares until they are all even. So if you look at it so far, most of the columns of the highlighted numbers have 3 squares. So you want to keep moving it until it is evenly distributed as much as possible. And again, I don't know if it's 3, I just moved them and it just happened to be 3 so far. So go ahead and move it around. All right, your second try is very similar to the first one. The squares don't have to be the same, but this time the total value has to be the same. So the sum has to be the same. So in each column, the sum has to be the same. So like I said, the squares don't have to be the same, but the numbers have to add up to the same value. So if you look, 8 plus 5 equals to 13, and then we move on to 7 plus 5 equals 12. Not the same so far. Let's give the next one a try. That's 14, 8, 6, and 4. So none of these values are the same. So you want to keep rearranging the squares so that the total numbers will be the same. So on my first try, none of the total numbers or total value equal to the same amount. So I'm going to give it another try. I rearranged it a little bit, and let's go ahead and calculate it. So you want to add up the numbers in each column. The first one that I'm adding up is 7 plus 3, and that equals to 10. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. 5 plus 5 is 10. And let's just keep going until we see if they will all equal to 10. Again, I will let you do this on your own because I think you can do this by yourself. So for this part of the problem, you're going to have to keep moving those squares around until all of the numbers add up to the same amount. So far I have 10. Again, I don't know if it's the answer. It's just something I'm testing out with you guys to see if it works. And if it doesn't, it's okay. We will just keep trying. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you need any more help, feel free to email me or set up a candid meeting. I do respond a lot faster through that. Some of you do leave comments in Google Classroom and it takes me a couple of days to reply. So again, Google Meet or Gmail is the quickest way to get a response from me. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe somewhere below. So take care and I will see you again.